They mocked Emma Jones's tiny skull and coordinates tattoo, until a hooded sniper lifted her hood and the SEAL commander forgot how to breathe. What happened at those coordinates? And why does Emma's ink match the kill shot ledger no one is allowed to mention? They joked before they even knew her name. New recruit. Tired eyes, hood up. A black skull on her wrist with 4 cold numbers tucked beneath it. Emma Jones kept walking. The gravel cracked under her boots like thin ice. She didn't look left or right. She didn't answer when someone asked if the tattoo was from a tourist kiosk outside the base. The wind carried salt from the bay. The razor wire hummed. Beyond the fence, gulls circled a rusted buoy like they too were on watch. "Nice sticker," a voice called. "You get it free with a latte." Emma paused at the armory door. The skull stared back, ink matte against skin. The coordinates were simple. Degrees, minutes, seconds. Nothing flashy. No flames, no snakes. Just a place. A point on Earth. A gravity. Inside, the range master slid a clipboard across. "Emma Jones?" She signed. The other recruits signed. A few looked at her hood as if it hid horns. Commander Grant Reed stepped in then. Weathered. Quiet. A man who carried entire rooms by breathing. He scanned the line. His gaze stalled on Emma's wrist. It moved on, but not all the way. Targets thudded to their tracks. 90 feet. 200. 400. Warm-ups, the range master said. Shots cracked. Brass spun. The bay wind slipped through the vents and tugged the paper targets like restless hands. Emma took position. She slid into the space like she had always belonged to it. Her cheek found the stock. Her breath stacked into numbers. Not counts. Not 5s or 4s. Ratios. Angles. She didn't chase the crosshair. She let the world slow until the sight settled on its own. One shot. A clean hole where the tiny X went silent. Someone laughed. Beginner's luck. The second shot chewed the same hole. The third cut light through dark and hid inside the first 2. The range quieted. Air changed. Even the gulls seemed to listen. Reed didn't smile. He didn't blink much either. "Jones," he said later, out by the obstacle course. "That mark on your wrist. Your coordinates." "My grandmother's garden," she said. He raised a brow. She let the lie sit. It throbbed in the air like a pulled muscle. That night, lights out pressed a hush over the barracks. Emma lay awake, eyes open beneath the hood. She tapped the skull with her thumb. She recited the numbers without sound. Her mind drew the map from memory's salt and smoke palette. A roof, a heat shimmer, a window with a lace curtain pinned by a bullet hole that wasn't there a minute before. She swallowed. The hood warmed her breath and held it close. Across the base, Reed stood alone in his office. A corkboard of old photos faced him. Dust on the frame. Desert light in every image. Men with their faces half-shadowed by helmets. A woman's silhouette on a rooftop, blurred, almost erased by glare. His phone buzzed. An encrypted ping. One line. "Do not ask about the coordinates on her wrist." Reed stared at the screen until it dimmed. Before dawn, the base siren coughed into life and died again. A hiccup, a glitch, the kind that precedes a change. On the range the next morning, the Marine sniper cadre arrived in quiet waves. They wore their hoods up against the wind. One of them walked like a rumor. Small, coiled, invisible until you realized you couldn't stop noticing her. She turned. She lifted her hood, and Emma's scar recognized the stranger first. If you're hooked by elite sniper mysteries, SEAL commander secrets, and tattoo coordinates with deadly backstories, subscribe now and hit the bell. The sniper's lips barely moved. She said the numbers like a prayer she hated. Reed heard it. He didn't show it. He only shifted his stance, which was how his team knew the ground had changed. "Friendly integration," the cadre chief said. "We'll run a concealed position drill. 400 yards. Wind's messy. You'll shoot on my count." The hooded sniper never looked away from Emma. "Cadet," she said softly. "Who gave you that map?" "No one," Emma said. "I took it," a blink. "Not fear. Calculation positions were assigned. Blind lanes. Varied angles. A line of broken pallets served as low cover. Heat shimmer rose off sun-touched concrete, though the air kept its knife. Emma's lane looked ugly. A burn barrel leaned into it from the left. Corrugated metal made a mirage on the right. The target was a white disc at chest height, flexing with wind. She set the bipod and settled. She did not check who was to her right. She already knew. The hooded sniper hummed through her breath like a machine cooling. Up, the cadre chief called. Emma tasted metal. The base, the morning, the years. It all had that flavor when a shot mattered. She let the wind sketch itself on the grass tips. She split the wobble. She squeezed impact, dead center. The steel popped like a heartbeat. A laugh rose and died. It wasn't mockery this time. It sounded more like someone realizing a door wasn't locked and had never been. Again, the chief said, now with offset. 2 targets, 1 shot each, 3 seconds. Emma cycled, fired, shifted, fired. 2 clean pings overlapped. Reed's jaw moved once, like a man testing a tooth he thought he had lost. After the relay, the hooded sniper stopped in front of Emma and showed her palm. Scar tissue cut pale lines through the pads of her fingers. Name, she said. Emma Jones. Alias? The sniper asked. Don't need one. The sniper's mouth twitched. You will. Everyone who walks out of there does. She pointed 2 fingers at Emma's wrist. Out of where? A recruit asked too loudly. The sniper looked past him. Over him, through him. Where you find those numbers. Reed dismissed the line to maintenance tasks. He brought Emma and the sniper into his office. The blinds made bars on the floor. Talk, Reed said. The sniper set a small, battered notebook on the desk. She didn't open it. Emma recognized the kind of book you only write in when ink is the only way to keep a ghost from tipping over your bed. You have a match on your wrist, the sniper said. Same skull. The coordinates are identical. My ledger ties every mark to a confirmed shot, a saved life, or a debt. A debt, Emma said. Yes. Reed watched them both. He watched the notebook too, like it could explode. The coordinates hit a rooftop in Al-Basra, the sniper said. A clinic under siege. A window with blue tape and an X. 30 civilians trapped in the basement. 1 hostile in the stairwell. 1 on the roof set to call the barrage if we breached. We had 90 seconds to change the math. Emma felt the room fold. The tape had been green in her memory. Had it? No, the light had been green. The tape had been blue. Who took the roof? Reed asked. The sniper's eyes softened. No one we were allowed to name. Emma unzipped her sleeve. The skull looked older somehow. The numbers, unchanged, felt heavier. Why is it on you? The sniper asked, almost kind. Why isn't it on me? Because I was the stairwell, Emma said. And I missed. The room stilled. Reed leaned in. Then who? We're diving into redacted operations, forbidden ledgers, and the secret behind Emma's skull and coordinates tattoo. Like, subscribe, and comment coordinates if you want the truth unsealed. They didn't sit. They didn't blink much either. Government gray has a smell. A stale paper smell, a basement file smell. Commander Reed, the taller one, said. You will not pursue discussion of Operation Blue Stairwell. We were talking about a clinic, Emma said. He looked at her like she was extra furniture. The subject is closed. The hooded sniper had removed her hood. She kept her hands at her sides, palms empty, fingers open. We are not civilians, she said. We can handle an after-action review. This is not an after-action review, the other suit said. This is compliance. They left the folder. They left their warning. They left the room colder than they found it. Emma took a breath that tasted like locked doors. Blue Stairwell, she said. She held the name like a coin she could bite. Reed flipped the folder open. Every page was inked out. A black rainstorm poured across the lines. 3 words remained in a pale square. Asset, Jane Doe. That ledger, Reed said, looking at the sniper. You track your kills and saves. And debts, she said. This one is a debt. Emma frowned. To whom? To the one who took the roof, the sniper said. Because my shot was late. All I remember is the stairwell, Emma said. The man who ducked when he should have rushed. The smell of iodine and dust. The clinic door with the word open in English, even though no one was coming. The roofman didn't miss, the sniper said. He threaded a needle through wind and smoke and glass. The call never went out. Your miss didn't cost the clinic. It saved you. It pinned the stairwell shooter just long enough for you to recover. Emma's throat worked. I looked up after. I saw a shadow. I saw nothing. Reed closed the folder. He looked like a man carrying an anvil inside his ribs. Jane Doe, who is she? The sniper studied Emma's tattoo again. Some of us mark the place to remember. Others mark the place to warn ourselves. Warn of what? Reed asked. Of what we owe, she said softly, and who might come to collect. A siren throbbed once across the base. Not a drill tone. A gather tone. Reed's radio popped. He listened. His face did a subtle thing Emma had never seen it do. It cracked, then set. Live op, he said. Warehouse district. Arms courier in motion. Urban clutter. Zero collateral tolerance. The sniper nodded. You'll need a roof. Reed looked at Emma. Can you climb? Yes, can you miss again? She held his stare. If you order it. He almost smiled. I won't. They moved. Vans, narrow streets. Phones dead by policy. The sniper checked her optic with the intimacy of a vow. Emma felt the city's breath on her neck as they threaded alleys. They reached the warehouse block. Corrugated facades. Bent gutters. Pigeons like gray thoughts on a wire. Reed pointed. Roof there, Overwatch. Jones, your lead. You call wind. You call shots. You call abort, Emma swallowed. On me, she said, and the team flowed. The stairwell smelled like old rain and copper. Emma climbed. Each step hummed. The sniper came behind, light as static. On the roof, the city opened like a map folded too long. Lanes, ledges, 1,000 small decisions pretending to be scenery. Emma laid down behind the parapet. She centered her world to a circle of glass. A van rolled into view. 2 men inside. One in back with a case. Reed's voice murmured in her ear. Confirm target, she confirmed. She tracked. She felt the wind change from her left cheek to her right cheek and back again, fickle as gossip. The sniper's breath touched her ear. Your call. Emma held the sight on the van door seam. She didn't shoot. The van stopped. The back cracked open. Inside, a sticker on the case flashed white, then blue, then white again as the sun played with it. The skull flashed again. Not ink, vinyl, fresh, clean edges. It hadn't seen weather. Emma's finger floated off the trigger. Hold, she whispered. Reed didn't ask why. He trusted the tone. Holding, 2 couriers, no lookouts, no vests. Something felt misaligned. The case looked like money. The way they cradled it looked like a story. Angle right, the sniper murmured. Window at 2 o'clock, Emma slid the glass. A woman stood behind the grime. Pale scarf, thin wrists, eyes too steady. She wasn't random. She was part of it. The van door opened wide. The case moved. The woman in the window lifted her phone. She pointed it at the case. Not the men. Not the plates. The case. Signal? Reed asked. None, Emma said. Optical trigger, maybe. The sniper's hood brushed Emma's cheek as she leaned in. Look again. Emma did. The sticker's skull had a crack through the frontal bone. Her tattoo did not. This isn't mine, she said. It's someone pretending you exist. The sniper said softly. The woman behind the window pulled off her scarf. Hair fell. A long, pale scar cut across her scalp like a river on a map. Reed's breath scraped. Emma didn't see him, but she heard it. She had never heard him breathe like that. Commander? She asked, his voice returned tight. Proceed. The woman raised her hood. It was the same cut as the sniper cadre wore. Same fabric, same drawcord caps. She lifted it and settled it like a crown she didn't want. Then she lifted it back again, slow, like a ritual, and Reed went quiet. The woman met the rooftop with bare eyes. She looked directly at Emma's scope. It was impossible. It felt like a handshake through glass. She tapped her own wrist. The motion said, you have mine, I have yours. Courier is secondary, the sniper murmured. She's primary. On what authority? Reed asked. On mine, the sniper said. It wasn't ego. It was a ledger talking. Emma's world narrowed to a nerve. The wind laid down. The sun found a cloud. Sound dropped into a well. Do I take it? She asked. Not a kill, the sniper said. A pin. Scare the hand, not the head. Emma moved the reticle to the cinder block 6 inches above the case. She breathed. She pressed. The block coughed dust. Everyone flinched. The man holding the case jerked and almost dropped it. The woman in the window didn't blink. She nodded once. A teacher who just saw a student show their work. Movement left, Reed said. 2 more rifles. They poured out of a side door, wrong-footed by dust and fear. Emma stitched the asphalt 2 inches from their boots. They stopped. The caseman froze. The woman lowered the phone and held both hands where Emma could see them. Team, advance, Reed ordered. Boots took the lower floor. Voices boomed, then dimmed. The case hit the ground with a padded thud. Emma kept the scope on the woman. Who are you? She whispered. The woman couldn't hear, but sometimes the world answers anyway. The woman reached into her sleeve and pulled a patch. Not a skull, a simple blue stare. Emma's stomach sank. The sniper beside her didn't move. The woman pressed the patch against the window. Then she drew with a finger in the dust.